Welcome to Get the Right Job. I'm Jeff Magnuson. Before we get into today's episode, if you've been listening for a while or you've only heard a few episodes and you like what you hear, please take a moment to rate and review the show. That would really mean a lot to me. Additionally, if you like the advice that you're hearing, I have a book by the same name, Get the Right Job, and you can find that on Amazon. Now, today's episode is all about how to make LinkedIn work for you. Now, right off the bat, I want to tell you I am in no way affiliated with LinkedIn. I pay a premium membership just like many of you. However, I do believe in the platform and I do know how powerful it is, especially if you are currently job searching. If you're job searching or thinking about job searching soon and you're not on LinkedIn, you need to get on LinkedIn. It's totally free. There are premium options that you can subscribe to if you want. They're month to month. You can cancel whenever you want. It helps just to unlock some information and give you a little bit more visibility, but it's certainly not mandatory. So don't feel pressured to sign up to spend, $50 or $60 a month. It's not mandatory. And if there's some of you out there who don't want to be on social media at all, I get it, but this is a professional site that can really work to your advantage when you are either researching companies or people, or as you'll see as we go through this, when your profile is optimized, it will allow people to find you, which is incredibly valuable during your job search. You want people emailing you with potential opportunities because you can always say no. The more visible you make yourself, the better off you'll be. Now, of course, if you're currently working, you have to be a little bit careful here. You don't want to make it obvious that you're job searching if you're currently working because you don't want your current employer to see that. And we'll get into all that in just a little bit. For those of you active on the site or familiar with the site, stick around. You may pick up a point or two that could help you either now or in the future. The great thing about LinkedIn is that it doesn't take a lot of time or effort to make it look like you have a very up-to-date, polished profile and make it look like you've been on the site for years. There's only so many things that you can do with your profile on LinkedIn, so it doesn't take a lot of time for you to be up to speed with many of the other really good profiles out there. And by the way, my profile, it's linkedin.com/in/J Magnuson, JMagnuson. Feel free to connect with me and obviously use my profile as a template for yourselves. What I'd like to do now is simply go through the different steps on LinkedIn to help you optimize your profile to get noticed by more people. Number one is your photo. Have a smiling headshot right in that circle. You don't need a professional headshot. You don't have to pay money for it. Use your phone, set the timer, take a selfie in good natural lighting. The picture's going to be cropped close anyway. And behind your picture is the banner photo. A lot of people don't put a banner photo in, so it's just the ugly default gray that so many people have. So if you want to stand out, just put something. Don't overthink it. Maybe I'm sure you have a photo on your phone or a landscape, or sites like Unsplash, you can use their photos for free. Honestly, anything is better than leaving the default. Number two is your headline. This is arguably the most important part of your LinkedIn profile. So this is right under your name, and this used to be only 120 characters allowed, and now it's 220 characters. And once you start filling it out, you'll realize how much that is, and you can cram a lot of information under your name using a lot of keywords and phrases that will help you come up in searches when HR or recruiters or other people are looking for some sort of a skill set or some sort of a job title. And you can separate these keywords with the pipe symbol, which on the keyboard, it's the vertical slash. So for example, I worked with a senior accountant, and for hers, we said senior accountant, pipe symbol, corporate controller, GAAP and IFRS, internal and external audit, risk mitigation, policies and procedures development. There's a pipe symbol separating all of those keywords or phrases. If you're right out of school and you're interested in marketing, aspiring brand manager, college grad seeking CPG marketing role. experience with Nielsen and Facebook advertising. You don't have a lot of experience yet, and that's okay. So you want to talk about what you're looking for and maybe what you do have some experience with, even if it's volunteer work. It's okay. And one more, operations manager, business analyst, project management, strategic planning, continuous improvement initiatives. All of these words are right in the headline separated by that pipe symbol. So now you're putting keywords and phrases into a space that is weighted more heavily than other parts of your profile. So when people are searching for operations manager, you want to increase the likelihood that your smiling photo is going to show up in their search. Contact information, put whatever you're comfortable putting, usually just an email. You don't have to put your phone number on LinkedIn. Just be smart about it, whatever you're comfortable with. Obviously, people can contact you through LinkedIn, but if you're not on it that often, at least put your email that you're comfortable if somebody were to reach out that you would see it. Next is the About section. It used to be called the Summary. This has a lot more room. So if you have a summary like you do on your resume, like I've talked about, I know some of you don't have that, but this is where you want to talk about yourself, for 3 or 4 paragraphs. What is it that you do? Name an achievement or two that you've had. What are you looking to do next? Be careful about that last point though. If you're currently working, do not put, I'm currently seeking a new opportunity in X, Y, and Z, because if your current employer should see that or somebody should see it and tell somebody, you could be in some trouble. So leave that part out. But you want to talk about yourself in a summarized way, not about tasks and things, but what achievements have you done? Why should somebody, if they come across your profile, then want to say, hey, I need to reach out to this person, or you know what, I'm working on this job, or we may have an opening in a couple of months. I got to write this person's name down, or I have to send them a note because this could be the person that we're looking for. Throughout your profile in the About section and then the Experience, there's opportunities now to add media. So anything like a PDF or a JPEG, PowerPoints, things like that, anything that you'd like to highlight. So for instance, I've been featured in a number of news articles that I copied and pasted into PDFs and then put those on my profile. So if people want to read it, they can see it. Other times people have had their work featured in a magazine or so on. Same idea. You're just highlighting whatever is relevant and whatever you'd like to showcase publicly. Now, also with LinkedIn, what came about over the last few months is that there's a banner that you can put around your picture that says #open-to-work. Again, if you're working at a company and you don't want them to know, obviously don't use this. There's another selection that says let recruiters know you're open. This is behind the scenes where recruiters can tell that you are actively looking for work. Now, I can't guarantee that your current employer doesn't also have access to this, so just use it with caution. But if you're not working, consider using the open to work green ribbon that would go around your photo. It just highlights that you're available to start immediately. And if you've been watching the news lately or reading the news, you know that companies are hiring and it's picking up. And a lot of companies are having trouble hiring. So if you're able to work and start almost immediately, that could really work to your benefit. And if you don't want to have it on, or if it's not really, you find that it's not really doing anything for you, you can easily remove it as well. Now, Experience, just like your resume, you want to have it in reverse chronological order. The difference is you don't want to have as many bullets on LinkedIn as you do on your resume. Somebody's just stopping by your profile. They're probably scrolling through very quickly. 2 or 3 bullets of your most prominent achievements, and that's it. Just like the resume, you're trying to get interviews. You're trying to make connections with people. If they see something that intrigues them, they will reach out to you and likely ask you for your resume. You don't have to copy and paste the whole thing on there, nor should you, because people are probably not going to read it anyway. Only put the jobs on LinkedIn that are on your resume. You don't have to go all the way back. If you've been working for 30 or 40 years, you don't have to go all the way back. Just, relevance, just like with the resume, 10, 15 years. If you did totally different work 15 plus years ago, it doesn't need to be on there. Your LinkedIn profile, much like your resume, is your marketing document. You're showcasing yourself and your skills and your experiences and your achievements however you want. There are no rules here. Education is pretty self-explanatory. College and graduate school, you don't have to put high school or earlier. I've seen that. It's simply not necessary. Once you've been out of school for like 5 years, 10 years, you can take the dates off. If you're older and you just completed your degree, awesome. You don't have to put the date. It's up to you. But much like on the resume, a degree is a degree. If you're a little bit older and you don't want people to guess how old you are up front, just leave the dates off. You got a bachelor's in 85? Great. It's no different than if you got a bachelor's in 2015. A degree is a degree. Skills and endorsements, this is where you can mark some of the skills that you want to highlight that you have. And one of the nice features of LinkedIn is that you can do it for other people. So if there's somebody you work with, you can highlight and endorse them for project management or marketing strategy, whatever you want. There's a whole entire list of different skills. And in turn, they can do it for you. Recommendations. This is really, really important. These recommendations will round out your profile really nicely. We no longer put references available upon request on our resumes, but when you have some recommendations right on LinkedIn, they're out in the open, they're public for people to read, they look great. All you have to do is obviously ask somebody offline if they'd be willing to do it, and then you can send them the recommendation request right through their LinkedIn page. And again, just be careful if you're going to ask somebody you're currently working with, just make sure you trust them 100%. People tend to get nosy or skeptical or think you're looking around if you ask them for a recommendation. So just be really mindful about who you're asking. Any languages that you speak, whether you have fluency or you're conversational, you can put those down as well. Volunteer work that you do, anything that's fairly recent, and anything, most importantly, that you're comfortable sharing. All of those things will paint a picture of you for somebody coming by your profile. And then finally, stay active on the site to become more prominent. So when you see in your news feed articles that interest you or somebody else posted something, like it or comment on it, and that will help bring your name into other news feeds. I don't know exactly how the algorithms work. Nobody does unless you work at LinkedIn. But suffice it to say, the more active you are on the site, the more visible you will be. Connect with people you know, whether you know them well or whether they're a friend of a friend. Don't be shy. Though if you send a request and they don't want to connect back, they won't. But don't be shy about expanding your network because you never know who they might know. And then if you have a connection, it could lead to a conversation, which could lead to more. Obviously, just be really careful who you connect with. If there's people reaching out to you and you don't know who they are or you're a little skeptical or not comfortable, you don't have to connect with them. Just hit ignore. I've done it. I'm sure people have done it to me. It doesn't matter. You just move on. And obviously, once you become more visible, the idea is that more recruiters and other people will start reaching out to you. Just be really careful once you start engaging with these folks, what they want. Are they just fishing for contacts? Do they have open positions to share with you? Understand who the players are. Just like with any social media channel, you want to be really careful about what information you give away to people that you're not already comfortable making public. And one other word, when you comment on other articles, like with trending articles, leave thoughtful comments. And you want to be really careful also about what you write because anything that you write is public. So sometimes people get heated or they write things that are rude or off color or political. Just be aware this is a public website and your comments will be seen. So just be really careful about whatever it is you're typing before you hit post. But with trending articles, if you leave a thoughtful comment, like if you read the article and then read a thoughtful comment, there's a chance that LinkedIn will recognize it and then move your name up So it's one of those main comments underneath the trending article when you click on it. That happened to me once, and I got a lot of exposure just from leaving a thoughtful comment. The more thoughtful comments you leave just in people's feeds, other people are going to see that. And the more people who like it, that means your comment is going to float to the top. So it could be the first one or the second or the third, right underneath a possibly trending post or a popular post. Why is that important? If you're job searching, it's all about visibility, and it will just give you more visibility, because all you're doing with LinkedIn is trying to increase the chances of getting interviews and making meaningful connections. If you follow the steps that I lay out to optimize your profile and stay active 5 to 10 minutes a day, it's really all it takes on average, you will be better off, and you will make LinkedIn work for you as you look for your next job. If you have any questions on LinkedIn or anything else, if you have feedback on the show, if there's a topic you want me to cover, please drop me a line at jeffmagnusonconsulting.com, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you at the next episode.